Rockwell.
I'd like to know, are you really ready for some super dynamite soul? And thank you, because now it's start time.
Woo! Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, wow. I tell you what, when you haven't done something in a few days, you would think that you got it figured out, that you can just jump back on the horse. Oh, technical difficulties. But you know what? I'm here. You're here. And what we're going to do right now is make sure some more people get here. What's that? Oh, okay. We're going to make sure some more people get here because we're having some difficulties as we speak. But we're going to keep going. We keep it going. And before I say another word, what we do every time here on the Rockwell Radio Show is make sure you observe the 3 standing rules of the Rockwell Radio Show. You got to like and share. You got to tag somebody, and last but not least, you have got to hit that subscribe button. Let them know that you are tuned in to the best podcast in the nation with your host, DJ Rockwell. Oh my God. It's been a long 30 days and I've been away. I missed y'all, man. I have missed y'all. What an incredible Ramadan. What an incredible experience that I've had. But we took the time away to retool. We took the time away to get our stuff together, Big Dave and I. And we needed it. We had a chance to reconnect with the God within ourselves. So we put the stuff down. We put everything down. But now we are back and you're back. We got so much to talk about. And the guest we have in the building today is, you know what? And let me begin it like this. I had no intention of coming back and discussing the subject that's online to discuss today. Y'all know me. We come online and we talk hip hop. We talk the teachers. We talk current events, but male-female relationships is not necessarily my bag. But in light of all that has happened in the last 2 months, as the minister frequently says, sometimes I may come with notes of what to say, but sometimes you have to take your cue from the people. And our guest today, oh my God, they are well known, well tested, and well proven in the subject matter that we're going to deal with today. And let me tell you again that how happy I am to be back. And I can't do the show without my right-hand man. He's in the building with me right now to my right-hand side. Big Dave C is in the house with us tonight. Big Dave is here.
That's right, I'm on deck.
He's right over here. And we want everybody again to share the show. We are dealing with an active campaign against us, and every podcaster knows this. The shadow ban is real. So we don't have a lot of time. We only got 60 minutes. So we also want to thank and give a big shout out before we go, our sponsor for today's podcast. We got a sponsor, y'all. Hey, we got a sponsor. Our sponsor for today's podcast is Muhammad Mods number 46. And they're going to be giving away a workbook from the Honorable Minister Farrakhan that deals with family, marriage, and singles. That is right in line with today's subject. So, again, thanks to our beautiful and timely sponsor, Muhammad Moggs, number 46, Brother Minister Willie Muhammad, down there in New Orleans. So let's get into it. Why not? Let's get into why we're here. The subject is heavy. Men and women have been at each other's throats. Men and women on social media have been clawing each other's eyes out. Black men and women. We are seeing at a feverish pitch the gender wars. The gender wars at an all-time high. And a lot of people have wanted to blame it at the feet of Mr. Kevin Samuels, the late Kevin Samuels. But we're here to talk about and prove the fact, and it really doesn't need proof. These gender wars have long preceded Kevin Samuels. And now we've got men and women at each other's throats, and we can't build a nation like that. We can't build a nation like that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay. So, oh yeah, that's him. That's good. Okay. So we've brought some professionals here. I am honored to say I've known them well over a decade. Him, my brother, and his wife and his family. They're professionally known as the marriage keepers. In fact, they were on this show almost exactly a year ago to discuss the subject is how to slow down the rate of divorce. They are helping couples all over the country. And later on in the program, they're going to talk about their annual event they have coming up, the marriage retreat in St. Louis. Dave, are you ready? Are you in position now? Okay. Please welcome back. Yeah. Okay. Please welcome back to the radio show, my brother, my sister, my family, Brother Marcus Muhammad and his beautiful wife, Sister Cecelia Muhammad. Let's go.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. How are you both?
We are wonderful. How you doing?
Oh, brother, man, I'm pulling out what little hair I have on my first day back on the air and running into all of these technical difficulties.
Yes, sir.
But so thank you all for your patience. Thank you all for your diligence in what you've been doing now for how many years?
We've been doing the marriage keepers for about 10 years. And we've been doing the marriage keepers for 10 years, but the organization of what we've been doing has been for 12 years. And it's really been inspiring couples throughout the nation, throughout this country, to have a better attitude toward marriage, because a lot of us don't have a good attitude toward marriage itself. And that's a big problem for us to deal with tonight.
You know, I remember asking this question a year ago, and I think I asked it first a year ago, and I think it was appropriate to ask it again for those who are back with us to see this particular episode again this year. Of all of the areas of nation building, Brother Marcus, Sister Cecelia, that you all can go into, why this work? Why this mission? Why this particular lane of nation building?
Say it.
All praise is due to Allah. Thank you so much for having us today. This particular avenue, because family is the cornerstone of nation building. And without the cornerstone of foundation, like we're taught by the Most Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, if that is the cornerstone, that is helping to lift a nation. If that crumbles, so shall that nation. And so for us, by Allah's grace, because we have been and continue to be students in the nation of Islam, following what we have been taught by the by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, the star student of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who came to us through Master Fard Muhammad. By practicing what we have been taught, we can successfully say by Allah's grace, July 4th of this year will be 30 years of marriage for us with 6 children. So praise be to Allah.
Come on now.
So in saying that, it's because of the principles that we live by that has helped us to be successful, that has helped us to go through the trials and the tribulations of marriage. And because of that, by Allah's grace, we are honored and privileged to help those who want to learn how to do this process. You know, the things, the success from what we have learned by trial. We're trying to give people that as tips to start early in their relationship, so that you won't have to you're gonna have trial, but at least if you know how to get over that hump, you'll be more successful than thinking you have to stay in the condition you're in. When someone said the other day that to somebody that got married on Facebook, they said, okay, the honeymoon's over. And I was like, no, the honeymoon is never over.
Right.
Always constantly growing, constantly learning each other. So the honeymoon is as long as you continue in your marriage to make it a honeymoon.
That's right. That is absolutely right. Let's remind the people again of the 3 steps to watching the Rockwell Radio Show. You have got to hit that like, hit that share button, and tag somebody who needs to be listening to this show right now. And last but not least, we're asking everyone watching to please subscribe on YouTube. And we want to thank our sponsor, Muhammad Marks number 46, who is sponsoring this show by a giveaway. They have a giveaway, and how you can qualify is simply going to email them. Dave, if you'll put up that email address, email Muhammad Marks number 46 at mosque46@av@gmail.com. Is it at av@gmail? Yes. Okay. That email address. And what you'll win, or what you'll get simply by asking for it, is a workbook that is going to help you work through marriage. Put up the graphic about that, Dave, so we can see it again. We help you work through marriage, singles, work through relationship, which is why we're here. Courtship, marriage, and family workbook. That's the proper title. Let me get it right. We want to make sure that we are very, 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 very supportive of our sponsors. Thank you, Big Dave. Let's get into question number 2.
Hold up, though, B.
Yo.
They've been married almost as long as I've been alive.
Can y'all hear Big Dave?
Yes.
I hope that y'all can hear me. They've been married. My brother and my sister have been married almost as long as I've been living.
Let me get another round of applause, man.
You don't hear about that in our generation.
Come on, that's absolute fact. That's absolute fact. And again, the reason why we're here, the reason why we're doing this particular episode, and I have said it before 1,000 times, that the male-female relationship genre is not necessarily what the Rockwell Radio Show is all about. But when we see what we're seeing right now in the lives of our people, it's worthy to take up the subject. NOI Chronicles in the building. It's worthy to take up this subject. Let me ask you this question, because I'm sure you all are seeing what we're seeing. There are many, as I mentioned in my opening comments, brother and sister, social media obviously has been filled with men and women hurling hurtful and toxic comments at one another. A hot button word that we've been seeing a lot thrown at one another is misogynist. Please define what is a misogynist, and at what point does constructive criticism become misogynistic? And let me say this before you answer. All the questions will always be at both of you, so both of you or either of you can answer at will.
Well, we're going to pass that word first before we speak, because we want to make sure we give it its just due in your question.
Yes, ma'am.
Misogynistic means strongly prejudiced against women. you know. And I want you to know that we follow the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Minister Farrakhan is not prejudiced against women. In fact, he pulls out of us our foolishness regarding women, and he gets us on a better keel to honor and respect women. That is what our teacher does. And I want to say to all of us that God does not want us looking past the Honorable Louis Farrakhan in 2022 for guidance and wisdom and understanding about male-female relationships. We have to stay the course and follow what he is saying. That's why we got to 30, Brother Dave. We got to 30 because initially, starting out our marriage, we listened to him guide us and teach us all the keys to a successful relationship.
Right.
There are a lot of people out here that you could be listening to, and all of them you should listen to. However, your divine guidance only comes from one source.
Teach it.
That is the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
The other persons are not claiming to have divine guidance for us. They're just giving us their opinion. And you got to know the difference between their opinions and divine guidance. Divine guidance, you have to follow. Someone's opinion, I don't know.
It's optional.
Follow, but you don't have to follow.
Look at that.
And I definitely will have to say that that's why divine guidance is necessary. And it's necessary because we live in a wicked world.
Right.
This wicked world is not God's way. This world is full of conjecture, confusion, chaos, madness, degenerate behavior. So if I am a person who is born in the image and likeness of Almighty God, my peace comes from submitting to the very nature in which I was born. So if you were born to be in the image and likeness of God, then anything that I do in my life to grow closer to my divine essence, it will bring me peace. It will bring me contentment of mind. As a woman in the Nation of Islam, we are taught that 75% of the work is with us. Why the woman? Because she is the first teacher of your nation. She has to be intelligent. She has to be smart. She has to know how to cook, how to clean, and not just cook, but the science of cooking to make a healthy family. Muhammad came to fix what society says and knows is broken. That's why the words and the wisdom coming from the Honorable Louis Farrakhan is what the scriptures tell us. To turn the father back to the son and the mother back to the father. Because see, we have chaos because you are not looking in the divine realm. We are looking in a superficial, a false, fake world, and everything in our existence is what we're doing. We're not following God's way. If we look at what we're doing, we're not following God's way. I'm following what Cecelia thinks. I'm following what Marcus thinks. If me and Brother Marcus followed what each other thought, we wouldn't be here for 30 years because the Negro of self is self-destructive, and therefore you cannot stand with self-destruction if you don't have and put in your relationship, and even before a relationship, by yourself, single, growing closer to who God made you. God didn't make you a booty shaker. God didn't make you to be on a pole. God didn't make you to do drugs and alcohol and all the things that we do to escape our own rebellion to the God in which we serve. So when we hear and see the chaos on there, I don't even speak to it, because I'm like, God's man has given us instruction. Right. It's whether we will submit or not. If you haven't heard the Swan song, go listen to the Swan song.
Go listen
the
to
minister is sounding the trumpet. The FOI, MGT are out here pushing the paper. And as long as you keep running from God's way, you will have the hell that you have.
Can I need everybody right now, everybody that's watching, if you got something out of that answer, I need you all to put a 1 in the chat right now. In honor of the one God that this family represents, that this show represents, I need everybody to put a number 1 in the chat. Wow. This is DJ Rockwell. You're tuned into the Rockwell Radio Show. We're back. We've been gone 30 plus days, but we're back. We're working out some bugs, Big Dave and I, but we're here. And with us, our brother Marcus Muhammad and his wife, Sister Cecelia Muhammad of the Marriage Keepers. Oh my God. And as you just said, it's chaotic. It's chaotic. And if you who are watching right now agree that it's chaos going up and down your timeline, debating the gender wars, going back and forth at each other's throat, I want y'all to tag somebody. Right. I want y'all to hit that share button, because we're about to take it up a notch in this conversation.
All right.
Brother and sister, on March the 27th, at the 94th Academy Awards ceremony, there was an event that was talked about on social media for weeks after it occurred. Dave, show them the event that happened on that day. That one event became a linchpin in the conversation of male-female relationships. Let me tell you why. Thanks, Dave. When Brother Will slapped Chris Rock, there was a question asked. But first, before I get to the question, I want to show you and contrast that event with a quote from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad of what the Muslims believe. Let's go to point number 11 and read that, Big Dave. We believe our women should be respected and protected as the women of other nationalities, women of other nationalities are respected and protected. Now, I want to contrast those two things for a reason, Brother Marcus, Sister Cecelia, because there was a segment of the sisterhood that said, that's right. That's right. That's what's supposed to happen. When a brother come out of his mouth in a disrespectful way to his woman, he's supposed to get checked on the spot, in some cases physically. I want to see our men protect our women like that. And we saw some brothers say, you know what? She wasn't even worthy of that. And that debate carried on for at least a month after it occurred. So my question to you both is this. Should a woman have to qualify herself for defense from her man?
You just put that up by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who said that he was taught directly by God himself. That point, no one ever touches that point now. But that point was made because the man is made to be the protector, the maintainer, the hunter for his family. So is that the nature in which I created man? That's the nature in which God created man. And so when I know that that is the nature, that you are the protector of the woman, that's the man's nature. There's no question about that. But I look at this side as a woman, that I hold myself in a manner where I don't have to put my husband in that position. That's
Mm.
the other side. I hold myself in a certain manner. And even if I don't hold myself in that certain manner, that does not take away the nature in which God created the man to be a protector of your wife and your children. Now we look at the setting in which that occurred. It's an award ceremony. They cut up all the time. We've heard how some of them they cross the line. But that is what I would say to that. The environment in which that was, it was an event where comedians come out, they say things, they do things. And again, whatever was that trigger for my brother, that was the trigger for him. There's many levels to that, but I'm going to leave it like right there. Again, the nature. His nature was called out.
Okay. Brother Mark, what do you say, sir?
I don't think that a woman should have to qualify for that position that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is telling us that she should have naturally. She should have it naturally, and we have to be taught why you deserve respect as a woman, why you deserve respect as a man. A lot of times we are acting other than self out here in society, men and women, and that leads to its own set of problems.
Yes, sir.
Like we are taught in the nation, if we find you as a woman other than yourself, then would that be something that you would have to deal with yourself? I think so. Because we don't want to put ourselves in harm's way if you are acting other than yourself. If you out there with low dresses on, you out there like you don't care nothing about yourself and you talking foul and stink to everybody, then I don't know if you are going to have our one of us losing our lives for you. I'm sorry.
Listen.
You have to come correct a little bit more than you were coming correct, sister. And brothers, you have to also come correct. Now, if you are that way, if you are doing it the way we advise you to do it, then I could see I would willingly lose my life for you.
Right.
But the way you act sometimes out here in public, I don't know.
Right. It might make you pause a minute.
The whole community needs to be checked. Not just the women, not just the men. We got to check everybody about what we are doing, because we're destroying the Black community. We're destroying the institutions that we build because of ignorance. Ignorance means you to ignore. You don't want to know. That brother sing that song, I don't want to know.
I don't want to know.
If you playing me, keep it on the low. We're tired of it being on the low.
Listen.
Bring it on the high. That's what we need to do.
Wow, you are tuned in to the Rockwell Radio Show. We are back. We've been away for a while, and we had to come back and discuss the issues that's killing the nation-building process. Our guests are Brother Marcus Muhammad and his wife, Sister Cecelia Muhammad of the Marriage Keepers. And again, we want to remind everybody of the 3 rules of watching the Rockwell Radio Show. You have got to go ahead and hit that like and share button. Tag somebody who needs to hear this great information. And last but not least, get on over to YouTube and hit that subscribe button. And we also want to give mention again to our sponsor, who is helping us with this specific episode because of the subject matter, Muhammad Marks number 46, Brother Minister Willie Muhammad. They are giving away a workbook about courtship, marriage, and family with guidance from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. All you have to do to receive it is email them at the email address on your screen. That's mosque46av@gmail.com. Now, obviously, because of our technical difficulties, we started a little late. So again, I ask forgiveness for you, my guest, and I ask forgiveness for my viewers who are watching and listening to this particular show, because I don't want to skip any of these great questions for the sake of time. So will y'all bear with me just a few moments after the album? Sister said, can we call in and comment? You know what? Dave, what you think?
Hey, let's run it. Let's do it.
You know what? I tell you what, at the bottom of the show, we'll do that. At the bottom of the show, since you asked for it, we'll open up the phone lines. Since you asked for it, we'll open up the phone lines and let our guests entertain questions if that's what they'd like to do. So let's get into this part of the question. It appears that even the music, Brother Marcus, Sister Cecelia, that we listen to has played a role in fostering division between men and women. We have all sang along with songs that are man bash records, and we know good and well we have danced in the clubs to records that are women bashing records. You know the songs. Scrubs, we ain't got no scrubs, got it. On the passenger side, let's spin by.
Hey, I like that song.
You know, and we can name any song by the early Snoop Dogg records. You know, I ain't got even to mimic them. But even the music and the culture has fed into this division. And my question to you is this. People hate misogyny, obviously, and people don't like misandry. I hope I'm pronouncing that word right. So to enjoy that kind of music, but to dislike misogyny and misandry, are we hypocritical?
I believe we are. You know, I think that, you know, you have to find a higher vibration to bop to. You know, if you're listening to music that's tearing down your woman, listening to music that's tearing down your man, is that what you really want to be found doing? I want to play in my car music that God would approve of. He would be pleased listening to this or that. Music that's uplifting, that's inspiring. Not music that's about tearing down your brother, your sister, killing somebody, hurting somebody. Hateful music that is not good for your spirit, your soul, your mind. We have to put out better music all over the place. Across the nation, we got to put out better music that we can bump to, that's righteous, that has a point to it, that's beautiful for us to get our dance on to. That's what I would say.
And plus, we don't produce our own music to the sense of you go to these companies that give us money for our music. And when you go there with clean music, inspiring music, positive music, uplifting music, they don't want to pay you the dollars, the millions of dollars for that. That's why we are taught we must do for self or suffer the consequences. Our community has suffered at the hands of our open enemies who are not interested in positive marriages, positive relationships. As long as I can keep your mind, brother, I'm speaking directly because you are the vicegerent. You are the Khalifa. You stand in the place of God. And your enemy knows the power of your mind. When you connect your mind with God, you have unlimited capability. So as long as the enemy can keep your mind on the behind, then I can keep you enslaved and entwined in my wickedness, in my evil. But if you're playing music that's telling the child that's looking at life and seeing life as I have no hope, I have no opportunity, and you're now telling that child that, look, I made it, this is what I did, and we could do this and we could do that, giving the solutions to our problems through the music, through the TV, through everything, we would see a total different world when we can control what we hear, what we see. And until we determine that we are sick and tired of being sick and tired and doing what Muhammad said long ago, do for self or suffer. And we are suffering. Our relationships are suffering. Listen to the music. The music is not strengthening family.
I need everybody in the chat room right now to print the words sick and tired. If you are sick and tired, too sick and tired, I need to see that in the chat room right now. And while you're typing that, let me shout out my Nothing But the Truth family, Brother Jamil and Keisha. Always down, always supporting. Shout out to NOI Chronicles. Shout out to Michael A. Muhammad and all of the family who's been supporting since day one. Big Dave and I love you and we appreciate you. Let's move on. Now, we're going to really turn this up real quick. Now, I want everybody who's watching to put on your seatbelts because now the ride might get a bit rocky. There is a lot of controversy over the concept, brother and sister, over the terms obedience and submission in the context of male-female relationship. You heard that right there?
Heard.
Now, I've seen men point out, and watch this, I've seen men point out that women are quick to quote the Quranic verse that says men are the maintainers of women, but very slow to point out in that very same ayat that good women are obedient. I had to stop the music for that one, Dave, because in the same verse. So the question is, and that's to me, that's an irony. And FYI, I'm referring to Surah 4, verse 34. So in this context, what is the proper definition of obedience? And is maintenance the prerequisite to earn obedience?
Wow.
Loaded. I told y'all. So everybody at home, put on your seatbelt. Put your seatbelt on. Let's go.
He said that maintenance and financial support was the fifth thing that came in the relationship, and that you had physical, you had the spiritual, you had
Spiritual was number one.
The spiritual was number one, the emotional, the physical. You had four other areas that came into the relationship before the finance part. Now, I know that a lot of us, we have a mantra almost of maintain me, but you have to talk about the benefits of a black man being with you. If a black man that chooses you, talk to him about how you can help him become what he wants to be. He wants to be a God. Can you help him to become a God instead of maintain me? If you maintain him properly, he will get you all of what you desire as a woman. Now, I'm interested in why we don't talk about the men who submit and the women who submit.
Listen.
The believing women. The obeying men and the obeying women. See, we got a part to play in it as well. God does not just hold women accountable, he holds men accountable too. And because we are not what we are supposed to be, we are not the leaders in the home that women marry us thinking that we will be. They are thinking from day number one that we will lead in the marriage, in the relationship. Brother Jamil just posted spiritual, intellectual, emotional, physical, and financially is the last one. See, I want you all to understand that in terms of the woman, what she provides for us when we do that, she provides comfort, consolation, and a gentle challenge to us. As men, we have to understand that a woman can't submit to a donkey.
Listen.
She can't submit to you if you have no sense in your head to take her anywhere. If you get married to her and you start off with her in your apartment, eventually you got to move it to a house. Eventually, you have to know that a woman will challenge you gently or not. She's going to challenge you. She wants you to do better by her and do better by the family. She produces your family for you. You owe her a house. There is nothing you can think of in terms of maintenance that you don't owe her, because she lays down her life to give you babies. My wife has laid her life down for me 6 times. What do I owe a woman like that? I'm just saying to you, you have to know that we are looking at you, and we want to let you know that we cannot tolerate this foolishness in our community. You should never tell a woman to honor me, obey me, if you're not talking about nothing. If you're not talking to her about what your dreams are, what your goals are in life, you have to know, that she wants you to do better than what you are doing. And that's what we do at the retreats. We teach you the knowledge of being a good husband. We need each other. Don't make the mistake and think that the man doesn't need the woman doesn't need the man. We need each other. And we must know that we are not going to make it alone in this world. I would not know what to tell you if I didn't have a wife for 30 years to be by my side. I'm so thankful to Allah that I've had the privilege of being her husband for 30 years.
Beautiful.
I want you to know that it's possible for you to learn to love a Black woman. And give your all for her, and she will in turn give you. I can never repay her for what she's given to me. I thank Allah for that. But I'm trying. I'm trying to repay her. All praises due to Allah.
Wow. By Allah's grace, I'm going to take it from this side of submission and obedience. My husband just mentioned about what the Quran says, that it is expected for all of us. But who are we obeying in the first place? It's the minister gave us the order: God, man, woman, child. God, man, woman, child. Why? Because if you are the head of your house, who is your head? Almighty God, Allah. So if Allah is your head and you are a man striving to be just and you're striving to submit your will to do God's will, Honorable Louis Farrakhan told us, brother, a woman cannot submit to a fool. She cannot. She will try, but she cannot. Her nature demands that you be who you are supposed to be. The man of God, not the man of this one, not the man of that one. This is my Bible. I follow this one, or I do this. No. Who do you follow higher than yourself? Because see, if we rely on our understanding, which is a Negro mindset. We were raised in a world of slavery. We have no name, no language, no culture. So we are following the very enemy that enslaved us.
Right.
So if we are following that right down to 2022, how are we going to be successful? We must return back to God, our original, who created us, whose image and likeness we are in. I have no problem obeying my husband. I have no problem submitting. Why? because I see him submitting to God. I see him leading my family in prayer. I see him studying. I see him get up from prayer and said, you know what, baby, what we got to do, this is what we got to do. So we have to see the man reaching for higher knowledge, higher wisdom, higher understanding, because if you're telling me, well, I got a PhD by the very enemy that enslaved us, is wonderful. But do you have God on top of that?
Wow.
If you don't have God as your head, what are you creating? What are you leading the woman to? She cannot be led by insanity. It's in her. See, the problem is, like the Honorable Louis Farrakhan says in the article, the demand of our nature. And your nature, whether you know it or not, is demanding things that God put in the woman, that God put in the man. The man wants confirmation. The man wants a woman quiet in mind. He wants a woman that will console him. He wants a woman to take care of him and shower him and treat him like the king he is. However, what are you doing to get that? What are we doing to get that?
Wow.
It's not, we got money. People, a lot of people got money, billionaires, millionaires, but we can't keep married to the same person. Why? Ain't no God in there. What picture we seen of celebrities praying together or doing Fajr prayer or whatever? We have to have a higher being that puts us together and helps us to go through all the trials and tribulations. Because when I get mad, I can't rely on Cecelia. She's still battling the Negro. I got to go pray. I got to get my Quran. I got to listen to the minister to get that Negro mind right. And if you're not putting something to battle that Negro of yourself, that's why our relationships are in the condition it's in, because we're not relying on our higher power.
So the Bible says,
come on now.
My thoughts are not your thoughts.
Listen, say it.
Your ways, my ways, say the Lord. For as heaven is higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts higher than your thoughts. See, this is the whole problem. We keep to ourselves teachers who will tickle our ears.
Listen, my God. My God.
That's what we want, somebody to tickle our ears, but you have to have guidance, divine guidance, which I started with in the first place. Asking God to wash your heart, to wash your soul of all the impediments that keep you from becoming one with him. I love God because God is continually washing my soul and helping my vision. That's what we all have to be praying to God to do for us. You have to, as a man, be reaching for God.
Listen.
God is the authority in the house, not you. God.
Oh my God. Allow me to interject.
God's wisdom as the authority in the home. A lot of us are saying, well, I represent God. Well, maybe you do, but are you God? Are you the one that is standing in God's place, representing him? Hopefully you are, but maybe you're not quite there yet. I am striving. I always put God in front of my family, my children, my wife, because I am not he. He is he. And I try my best to be a good reflection of his power. That is what we have to do. And so when we talk, it should be God. Is God in your thoughts at all? As a man, is God in your thoughts as a woman as well? Are you thinking about this world's life, or are you looking at what you were really saying? Has it anything to do with the hereafter? Does it have anything to do with divine knowledge and wisdom and understanding? I don't know.
Oh, brother. My producer is jugging my vein over here that we've got to go to break. We've almost spent the first half I mean, the whole hour on the first half. Oh my God. Let me give Brother Marcus and his wife, Sister Cecelia, a big round of applause. You are tuned into the Rockwell Radio Show. My God, this is our first day back. And what a topic to come back on. Everybody that's watching at home, everybody that's listening where you are, don't go away, because after the break, we'll be right back with more. Let's go.
This is your brother Willie Muhammad, and I'm asking each and every one of you all to tune into the DJ Rockwell Show, live online. Peace.
Peace. This is your sister Aisha, the mental resurrectionist, hailing out of Baltimore, Maryland. Listen, whenever I'm online, I always tune into the Rockwell Radio Show. It's that hype. It's that dopeness. And you should tune in too. Peace to my brothers David and DJ Rockwell for holding it down, locking it down, giving us those sounds. Love y'all. Peace.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm Sister Latasha Muhammad, and when I'm online, I rock with the Rockwell Radio Show.
Assalamu alaikum. This is Brother Vaughn Muhammad of the Rockwell Radio Show. For years, I've been hearing the same thing from a lot of people. Brother Vaughn and DJ Rockwell are completely two different people. So I came up with a way to separate the both of us, and perhaps we can get along better if we try it this way. Introducing DJ Rockwell. What we're going to try to do is do this together and not get on one another's nerves. Every Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, check out your brother Vaughn Muhammad and this guy, DJ Rockwell.
Worldwide, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Download the Final Call Radio app and take us everywhere. On your phone, on your computer, on your tablet, on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You can also log on to finalcall.com and click the Listen Live button, or finalcallradio.com. Final Call Radio, the official voice of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam.
We are back. I tell you what, this conversation has been nothing short of amazing. Please welcome back to the room our brother and sister, Brother Marcus Muhammad and Sister Cecelia Muhammad. My God.
Thank you.
I thank you all so much for being a part of this conversation. And obviously, we're now at the hour mark now. And can I ask you all and the listeners just to bear with us a little while longer? We all hang around just a little while longer.
Sure.
Thank you so much. Let me give thanks to our sponsor, Muhammad Mosque number 46 and Minister Willie Muhammad, who are giving away a workbook, courtship, marriage, and family. And as Sister has so adequately pointed out, the standard is the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. and his guidance. And they are offering that guidance to you. And all you have to do is simply send an email and they will get you that workbook right to your home address where you are. And last but not least, before we get back to these questions, and we want to try to wrap up quickly, but we want to ask your support. Yes, we need your support to keep going, keep growing. We want to put our Cash App on the screen where you can support us financially. Support the Rockwell Radio Show at $ Rockwell Radio to keep us going. We still need your help. And guess what? We ain't scared to ask. And coming up at the end of the show, before we leave, we're going to hear our family tell us about their upcoming marriage retreat in my hometown, St. Louis. And stick around for that. And somebody asked Dave to open up the phone. So we don't want to keep them. Was that you? We don't want to keep them up all night, but we definitely want to try to move towards a close quickly. So let's keep going. So again, we want to thank and shout out all of those who are watching in the chat room. Sister Latasha, Hey For Real, everybody. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So check this question out, Brother Marcus, Sister Cecelia. When men and women make public statements that can be seen as hateful to the opposite sex in the media, one of the common replies that we always see people say in the effort to be smart alecky, and smart reply is, who hurt you? And it's meant to be a smart aleck reply to hateful or comments that are deemed as hateful. But the truth is, Brother Marcus, Sister Cecelia, is that people are speaking from a place of hurt as it relates to the male-female relationship debacle, if you will, the gender wars, if you will. So I want to ask each of you to respond to this question. Brother Marcus, what are some of the things that men are hurting about? Sister Cecelia, what are some of the things that women are hurting about?
Well, men are hurting because, number one, we are trying to do the right thing. We're trying so hard, but doing the right thing is harder than we thought it was going to be. We are, all of us, dealing with finances. Finances are certainly something that is hard to deal with. I think that a lot of us, in terms of relationships, we never expected to have to fight for our marriage, but you have to fight for your marriage. You have to fight for your relationship. If you want your relationship to be something, you're going to have to make it something. And I think that a lot of times we all, we don't know a lot of times what we're going to have to deal with because we think it's supposed to be easy for us, and it's not going to be easy. God is not satisfied, Minister Farrakhan teaches us, to make it easy for you. If you are going to be somebody in this world, you're going to have to struggle against yourself. Struggle against all of the obstacles that come up. And I think that a lot of us as men, we don't talk to anybody. We don't talk to anybody who can help us. We talk to friends out there. We talk about sports. We talk about nonsense things that don't require a lot of mental faculty. But I recommend, especially for your marriage, if you're in a relationship, you should talk to somebody who can help you, who has a mind. I know you say he puts his pants on the same way I do. That's true. He does. However, he can help you with your problem of this or that or the other thing. I think a lot of us are so fearful about going to another man because we think that's weak, but it's not weak. You have things that you will confront in this life that you never expected to confront. And I think that you should go to other men, other women who can help you to be a stronger man than you presently are.
How about it? Sister Cecelia, what are women hurting about?
First first of all, it starts with our own self-pain, our own experiences that we have had, abuse, neglect, abandonment, all of those things. And I tell people all the time, I said, do you realize that when they talk about Black women, you don't hear, oh, she's feminine and oh, she's dainty. She's always the strong Black woman. And I'm like, why do you think they always say the strong Black woman? Because they know what they have done to our men. And because you have thoroughly destroyed our man, God had to come himself to bring him back to himself. And that's through the Nation of Islam, the FOI, just in case someone don't know what I'm saying.
Say that.
However, I give this example. I said, brother, when you meet a Black woman today and before today, she has always had to be the lead. She has always had to do by herself. And if she didn't do it by herself, what examples of men did she see in her life? All of this is a whole generational things that we have experienced. So I say, give you this example. You meet a single mom. She has 3 children. She works a full-time job. She's going to school on top of 8 hours of work, 10 hours of work, rearing children, taking care of bills by herself. What compassion do you think she's going to have if she did all of that by herself? Will she have the patience to put up with excuses on why you can't do something? See, the Black woman, the woman in general, her nature kicks in because we're taught the man has 1 degree above the woman. You know what that 1 degree is? God gave you dominion and power over everything on the earth. God gave it to the man. So if the God innately gave that power to you, you have the capability, the power within to make anything happen that you put your mind to. But if believe you still a nigga, a coon, a shine, a jungle bunny, if you still think you are a slave with a slave behavior, God came to save us from that. The Black woman wants her man. She suffers from her man not being the man of God that he is innately made to be. So she suffers and she has to pick up the slack. So they say, why she ain't soft? Why she not this? Why she not that? When that man doing all that he do, like the minister said, he said, brothers, you can make the little girl come out of your wife. Ask my husband, Brother Marcus, have you brought out the little girl and his wife? Yes, he has. Over years of trial and error. We ain't going to sit up here and say it came automatically. Absolutely not. He was tilling that soil. He was hitting that axe with that rock in front of him. Of course. But by Allah's grace, it's nothing for me to do that because he's been in a process that is making him into a man of God, and that's not a one-day process. If by God's grace, is like I said, July 4th will be 30 years for us. So some of us are expecting things in our relationships immediately. You got to pay the cost. As they say, you got to pay the cost to be the boss. Well, that's the cost to that growth and development. And I tell sisters, you got a good man. We got to stand strong and be with him and support him.
Let's speed it up a little bit. Because again, I promise I don't want to keep y'all all night. And we want to maybe take a phone call or two. Let's speed it up just a little bit, Big Dave. Now, let's get to the elephant. Let's get to the 800-pound gorilla. Why we're here. Not the why we're here, but it's the why we're here. Much has been said, much has been written about the late Kevin Samuels. Much has been said. All up and down our social media, all up and down our timelines, we cannot ignore it. I even read a comment, brother and sister, that said, not only has his death made him a martyr for his cause, that now countless people will race to replace him. So-called relationship gurus are going to pop up left and right. Now, the intention of bringing him up is not to take a text on whether we agree or disagree with his positions, what he taught, and the like. Although you may comment on if you wish, but it's not the reason why I bring him up. Here's why I bring him up. One, it's a two-part question. Obviously, he was known for his harsh critique. Where is that putting it lightly? Where is the line, Brother Marcus, between telling an ugly truth, harsh, and being hateful? And number two, what did men see in Kevin Samuels that made him their hero?
Well, there is a difference between telling a harsh truth and it being borderline hateful. When you have an audience of a lot of women listening to you, you have to soften it up just a bit. You can be more compassionate towards her than what he might have been. And I can tell you that I've seen him go off on women who called in to get something from him. But I think that if he was a little harsh or a little harder than maybe he should have been, okay, fine. The second question, what's your second question?
The second question is, what did men see in Kevin Samuels that endeared them to him so much?
Well, he was speaking for a lot of men who feel powerless. They can't say hardly anything to their woman. And he was speaking to them, getting them off his show, get off my platform. And he was calling them out for their games and stuff that they do. He was doing that. But the way he was doing it was kind of foul in its own way. So I think that a lot of black men idolized him a little bit, made him their hero because he was saying to women what they wanted to say. And he was speaking a harsh truth to them that they needed to take a little note of, but maybe not in the way that he was doing it. If he would have been a little softer, they might have appreciated him a little better than what they did. A lot of times I can say that with women, they're not men. And even though sometimes they like to act like they're harder than they are, they're really soft and they're really sweet. If we can get that from them. And I just think that we have to work harder to present another side of the black woman out there than what my wife was talking about, being the strong black woman. If everywhere she goes, she's the strong black woman, where is she allowed to be soft at? Where is she allowed to be a beautiful, her beautiful self at? Because I think that this world has built this idea of black women as being so hard and unyielding that's totally false. That's totally false. Black women I know ain't trying to be hard all the time.
Not all the time.
They want to be balanced. And it takes us as men to balance out a woman. A woman, you can, when I meet them out there in the streets of Atlanta, many of them are hard because they don't have a man to balance them out.
Wow.
Those of us who are learning from the minister, they are going to be premium value out here in this world because we are learning. We are learning. Oh yeah, we are. I can tell you, the minister told us about our future, what we are going to be out here. He said that children want us to be their fathers as men because of the way we've learned to be and to talk and we have to caress with our words our sisters. We don't have to be all hard and act like we're fighting with them. I'm not fighting with no black woman.
Listen.
Because I have a black woman here who I can fight with if I chose to, but I don't want to fight with her either.
Who signs up for that?
I'm learning the science of, okay, yes, ma'am, I hear what you're saying. I'm learning to listen a lot better than I was when I started off this relationship with Cecelia. I'm learning to listen, and I thank Allah for that. And she's learning how to talk to me in a way that I can get the message on, because men don't get the message just because you saying it, sister. You got to talk to another thing in his ear that will help him to get the message a little better. So that's what I would say to that.
Our sister Cecelia, I want to hear from you on this question. Time is on us. So I'm going to ask you, if you'll allow me, because I don't want to keep you all so long, and I want to get to this phone call. I want you to pick one of those two questions to answer.
Say the second question.
The second question is, why have brothers made him their hero? Let me be clear. Some, not just brothers. Let's be clear.
I think my husband said it best. He probably said to women what a lot of men want to say to the woman, because I feel that she's on her high horse. She has too many expectations. What does she expect? If what the woman expects from you is too high, I feel sorry for us, because God gave you a much higher stead than what the black woman is asking you for in her level. God is demanding of you something, brother. And that demand is to be a God, a master of circumstances, a master of your environment. God gave you a level. So if what the woman, how dare she ask me for to be emotional, to be spiritually, to lead her spiritually, to be the maintainer? The woman is only asking what God already put in your nature. But if you live in a society that doesn't respect who you are and whose you are, then Kevin Samuel is probably your man.
Right.
Because he was saying things about the woman, but again, she's in her nature. Oh, she want a house. Oh, she want this. Oh, she want that. Don Louis Farrakhan said, brother, it is in the woman's nature to look into you and to destroy the weakness that's found in you. Let me say it again. The Honorable Louis Farrakhan said the woman was made to help destroy the weakness in you to help you to become a God. She is a co-creator with God. So if you're running from what a sister is asking you, you're really running from what God has put on you.
And the Nation of Islam builds high-value men.
Listen.
We build all the time. The man that he was talking about, a high-value man, we are becoming that by the grace of Almighty God. I don't run from no sister asking me for this or that or the other thing. I'm made by God to meet and overcome all obstacles in my path. So there's nothing that she can ask me for that I will not try and get for her, because I am a high value man. Not because Kevin Samuel said so, because God said that I'm high value.
Let me give that a hand.
Value don't start with finance. It starts with the spiritual.
Come on, Big Dave. Let's do this. Let's do this, Big Dave. We want to start wrapping up, because this needs a part two. And I don't normally hold my guests and the viewers this long. We've been away so long, and it's so easy to keep going and going and going. You're tuned into the Rockwell Radio Show. My name is DJ Rockwell, the host. That's my brother over there, the producer, Dave C. He happens to be in house today. And oh my God, we cannot have this without you at home. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for listening. Big Dave, go ahead and put the phone number up on the screen. We want to take at least one call before we close. Put it, the phone number where you can reach us and speak to our guest and voice your opinion is 404-919-7399. Call us right now and we'll put you right through. Again, the number is 404-919-7399. And while we're waiting for the phone to ring, how much time do we have to call in? Sister got a lot to say. Well, obviously, Sister Danielle, we're trying to wrap the show up, but we do want to hear your opinion. We do want to hear, and we definitely want to welcome your questions to our guest. So go for it. Go for it, Sister D. We're waiting on your call. The number is 404-919-7399. And while we're waiting for that call to come in, we'll want you all to please tell us about the upcoming annual marriage retreat in St. Louis, my hometown. Tell us about it.
All praises due to Allah. Well, we have the 12th annual marriage retreat coming up in St. Louis, Missouri, August 25th through the 28th. 2022 is coming up in a couple of months. The theme for it is the basis for marriage is duty first to him who created us. We have a $300 registration fee per couple in person. If you're coming in person, that's the fee that you have to pay. It includes the Saturday banquet that we have. We are going to have a wonderful Saturday banquet. The event, everything that we do is going to take place at Muhammad Mosque, number 28, 5967 West Florissant, St. Louis, Missouri, 63136. The host hotel is the Embassy Suites. We have the number there for you, as well as the address of the hotel. It's $125 a night. The code is the Marriage Keeper Weekend. You will need a credit card to hold your room. They're not going to charge your credit card, but you need a credit card to hold your room. For more information and to register online, please visit our website at www.themarriagekeepers.com. Again, that website is www.themarriagekeepers.com, and that is for you. If you need more information, please call us. We're at 770-256-8856. Again, 770-256-8856. Thank you so much, Brother Vaughn.
Okay, well, I guess they didn't want to call in after all, because the phone number is crawling at the bottom of their screens. And she said she'll wait for part two. Okay. Well, having said that, let's summarize. And I think this is an appropriate question to summarize with, as we try to heal the wounds between the Black man and woman and end the gender wars. And before we go, again, I want to shout out and thank our sponsor, who is giving away a workbook on courtship, marriage, and family. Muhammad Mosque number 46. And all you have to do to receive this workbook, to receive this great guidance from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, is email them at mosque46av@gmail.com. Let's ask this last question here. And again, I can't think of a better way to end this conversation than with this. We're here to discuss, obviously, healing the wounds, but there is no such thing, Brother Marcus, Sister Cecelia, without forgiveness. In your experience as counselors, What are a few behaviors? Well, let me rephrase my question. I just got inspiration at the last second to change my question, to ask it differently. How is the best way to say I apologize?
Well, brother, you have to get right in their face, the one that you're trying to apologize to. And you have to remember that they have God inside of them too. You have to talk to them and say to them, I apologize. And then name what you're apologizing for. Because a lot of us don't do that. I apologize to everybody. What are you apologizing for? Name it. Name what you are apologizing for. Whether it's a male or female, a lot of times you would be surprised that an apology is what we most need to do in our marriages. I was wrong when I did that. I was wrong. You have to recognize when you were wrong and then say it to that person and mean it when you say it. Mean it. Don't just say it, but mean it. And that's the best way to apologize for me.
And it's also it's changing the behavior we're apologizing for. That's the other thing, because a lot of relationships, we apologize, but we continue with the behavior. If your spouse says, or your someone tells you, this I find disrespectful, or this is abusive to me, or I don't like how your tone, or I don't like this, or how it makes me feel, then stop it. That's what we have to do. If someone tells you, well, I'm going to do it anyway because I want to.
That's just me.
That's arrogance. That's ego. Edging God out, and here come the Negro. We don't need that. We need to listen to what the person says they need from us. If someone tells you this, I need you to stop speaking to me like that. If a brother says, honey, that's disrespectful, we have to check our tone, because we'll talk to the husband same way we talking to the children. We have to respect what each other wants and give each other what we want, and we'll have a better relationship. As long as the ego and arrogance and self-aggrandizement is in the relationship, and we don't care what we're doing and how we're doing it to the other person who is telling you how it makes them feel, stop it. If we have an anger problem, whatever our issue is, before we met our spouse or our loved one, we had that issue before, go fix it. Fix it, because it's not their luggage. That's your luggage you bring into the show.
Before you get married, that's when you should fix it. If you can, before you get married. A lot of us are single and we're looking to get married again, and we're going to bring the same problems that we had in the first marriage to the second marriage. It's going to compound. Don't you understand that while you are single, that is the very best time for you to work on yourself?
Listen.
Work on you and your issues, because we got a lot of issues.
Whole lot.
You don't have to tell me that I got a lot of issues, Brother Marcus. I know you do. And I do too.
We all do.
We all do. We all got a lot of issues. And one of them could be that you've never asked for forgiveness for anything that you've done. You are not perfect. You are not sinless. We all have stuff that we're working on. And so when you are able to say to the other person, please forgive me, I was wrong, that will go loads. It will go very far in your marriage relationship. It might prevent divorce.
And the other part that we don't want to do is, after you confess what you're struggling with, can you help me and help me to strengthen me? I'm being vulnerable to let you know what my weakness is. Help me and strengthen me in that. Be my cheerleader for me to champion on the correction that I need for self.
Wow. We've reached the end of the program. In fact, we're over the program. We are now 30 minutes past the hour. And I want to give this round of applause to Marcus and Cecelia for all that you do, all that you've done, and all that you have yet to do to help people heal the wounds. Thank you. As we close, please tell the people again how they can get to St. Louis and what they need to do to be a part of the 12th annual marriage retreat. Real quick.
Well, it's very simple. Go to our website, www.themarriagekeepers.com. Again, their website is www.themarriagekeepers.com, or you can call us at 770-256-8856, 770-256-8856, and we can tell you how we will accept your payment. And it's all online. Everything is online.
And it's in person and online. So we have hybrid as well for those who may not can come in person. We also have that.
If you have a baby, you cannot come to the retreat.
Right. Baby kids not welcome to.
Yeah.
Right.
Because a baby will tear our whole thing up, operation up.
Right.
A baby will tear it up. We're not playing with you. We've experienced this. We know what we're saying. The option for you is to do it online. We have an online option. We're going to have it just like we had last year, the year before. But we're going to be in person this year by Allah's grace. Please come, because it's for people who are very skilled at marriage, who've been married a long time. You can help us. We want to be helped. But it's also for people who are having a difficulty, a challenge in their marriage, and they don't know how to get through it. An impasse may have developed in their marriage, and they want to know how to get past that happening.
Beautiful.
You want to grade your marriages for the first time. I don't know if you've been married to somebody, but you never received a grade. How am I doing, you might be wondering. How am I in the communication department? Would you grade me, honey? What would you tell me how I'm doing in my communication? How am I doing in the listening department? How am I doing in, give me another area that we would deal with. Conflict resolution. You'd be surprised. You might be thinking you doing A-level work, but your spouse may say you're doing D-level work.
Listen.
I don't know. Wow. I don't know, because we're not going to front nobody who comes to our retreat. We have never done it. We won't do it any time to you. It's private. It's between you and her, and you and him. That's how we've always done it. We're not going to front you. We're not going to put your problems on Front Street so everybody can hear your problems. It's very simple. It's you and them talking, communicating about what's going on in your marriage. Wow. That's the beauty of it.
And we have
You've heard it right there, family.
Right. We have to say after 12 years of the marriage retreats that they are designed to help us to get the relationship and the peace that we want.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, they have given you every reason in the world why you should be with them at the Marriage Keepers 12th annual marriage retreat with them, either in person or online. We are getting ready to get out of here, Big Dave.
Right.
Thanks for being here. Family, thank you all for being here. And next week, here on the Rockwell Radio Show, we'll be back with something brand new that's never been done before. The Tag Team Trivia Challenge is happening right here on the Rockwell Radio Show. Y'all should have been in it. I'm telling you, y'all should have been in it. But make sure you're here with us. We're going to be having the competition, the battle of the podcast host, right here, the Tag Team Trivia, where the trivia questions are going to be based on the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and what else but hip hop. See y'all next week. Love y'all. Thank you. Much success. And guess what? Big Dave, we're back. See y'all next week. Rockwell Radio Show. Salute.
I'd like to know, are you really ready for some super dynamite soul?